Alrighty folks, thanks for clicking on today's video. JamesCardsFC here. If you're new to the channel, we talk about the financial side of the soccer card market, and today specifically we're going to be talking about everyone's new favorite player, it seems, Folarin Balogun, and the bandwagon effect that's sort of been going on with his prices. We're going to talk about his rookie cards that he does have on the market, what their prices have been doing, and sort of what I think of all this mania that's been going on in his market. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started, as always, with the introduction. So, in case you've been living under a rock, Folarin Balogun has taken the soccer card market by storm over the past 6 months, following impressive performances in League One and rumors of a possible United States men's national team commitment. We reached the mania peak of his market following his first goal for the United States men's national team in the Nations League final against Canada. Some other people out there see Balogun as the United States men's national team's center forward and striker of the future, destined to be the star of the hobby's most followed national team, which would obviously be a huge deal for not just the US, but its prices, the soccer card market, all of the above. People are placing extremely high expectations on Folarin Balogun at this point, and fear of missing out and expectations are both sky high at this point. So, with all this in mind, I wanted to take a minute to review his rookie card options, how we got here, and where I think we're going to go from here in terms of his market. I leave this caveat at the bottom. If you don't care about American soccer, feel free to skip today's episode because we're just going to be talking about Folarin Balogun. So, let's start by talking about his limited rookie options. Now, I will continue to beat this point into the ground. The number of rookie cards a player has matters a lot when it comes to their prices, and Balogun is one of the very, very few players in the ultramodern end of the market that has few rookie card options. He's only in 4 sets, whereas the majority of players are now in like 40. The fact that he's in 4 means that his cards, at least right now, can go for a lot more money because he doesn't have a lot of them out there. So, simple supply and demand, we talk about this all the time. His 4 sets are 2021 Premier League Prism, 2021 Score, 2021 Revolution, which is actually an Asia exclusive product, so that's even harder to find than any of these other ones. And then 2021, he also has a Panini Premier League sticker, which is probably in the print run of the hundreds of thousands, and you could probably order them from the Panini website, so that's not really going to be a relevant option. But the other ones that we talk about, Prism, Score, and the Revolution sets, those are actual card hobby sets, so they might hold some relevancy. It all depends on how the market wants to play out. But as of today, he's only in these 4 sets for his rookie season, and obviously they can't make any more rookie cards for him for 2021 because that year is long gone at this point. So he's in these 4 sets. One of them is Chromium, which is the Prism set, which means there's like shiny chrome cards rather than paper cards. He has 2 paper options, which are the Score and the Premier League Revolution, and he has the 1 sticker option, and those are the 4 sets he has for his rookie season, and those are his 4 rookie cards. Important to note that he's also been absent from all of the 2022/2023 sets released so far because his club is in the mid-table in League One, and he didn't play for a senior national team during this most recent season, so he doesn't factor into any of the national team sets yet. He does have an unlicensed Leaf sticker auto, but it's unlicensed and it's Leaf and it's a sticker auto, so I didn't include it in this sort of breakdown because I think most people would ignore it, but if you do want a Balogun auto or Balogun's first auto, he is in a Leaf unlicensed set. So, the important thing here is he has very few rookie options, so the ones that are out there are seeing big price spikes because supply and demand, but more Balogun cards will come, and possibly fast. Topps, Panini, Leaf, whoever's out there producing cards, notices now how important Balogun is, at least right now in the soccer card market, and they will be producing cards to sell more product, and he will be in a lot of sets, especially this next year for 2023. I expect him to be in every single set. So, get ready for United States men's national team rookie cards, Chrome rookie cards. People will try and push these narratives on Balogun's cards. You see it with Mbappe. You see it with pretty much any other player. You see it with Holland with Man City, his Man City rookie cards, whatever. They're going to do the same thing with Balogun. When he gets his first United States men's national team cards, that'll be called the United States men's national team rookie. When he gets his first Chrome cards, those will be called Chrome rookies because he wasn't able to have a Chrome in his rookie season. They're going to talk about all these silly little narratives, and that will pull away at the relevance of some of these cards. So just keep that in mind that he has more coming in the future. Now, let's talk about his price history. We're going to start with $1 to $60 in just a year's time. So, On release day for Premier League Prism, Balogun was a sleeper Arsenal Academy prospect that had played for the US in youth competitions, but he had also been playing for England as well, so it was sort of up in the air where his nationality was going to be in the future, and it really didn't matter because he was nothing more than just a youth academy level prospect. His silver prisms came out of the gate hovering between $10 and $15, at least in the first few months. But then, as we move into the summer, people quickly forget about Balogun while he's on loan in the Championship. He played for Middlesbrough, and he played okay. He had a few goals, but he wasn't scoring every week or anything ridiculous. And his prices hit rock bottom in the summer of 2022, whereas Silver Prisms sold 3 or 4 times in a row for as low as $1 each. And then Balogun was loaned out to Reims in League One into this next following season, and he goes on a massive scoring spree in February of 2023, which spikes his interest and prices back up. This is the point where he had scored a hat trick, and he had scored in the last second against PSG, and so a lot of people started talking about Balogun again as a huge prospect for Arsenal, and possibly a player for the United States men's national team because he had represented them at the youth level along with England, and since he has a path to being in the starting 11 for the US, and he doesn't have that path for England, it was somewhat likely that he would commit to the United States so that he could get more playing time with the national team. So, in any case, his name pops back up again in February of 2023 following a strong run of club form, and his silver prisms soar back in the $20 to $30 range, so they go from over the summer being worth $1 to then in February being worth anywhere from $20 to $30. And then we move forward into May of 2023, where Balogun finally commits to the United States men's national team to be their striker of the future, and his silver prisms raise again, this time in the $25 to $40 range. Which brings us to the ultimate peak that we just saw. On June 18th of 2023, Balogun scores his first U.S. goal in the Nations League final against Canada, and his silver prisms jump again, this time in the $40 to $60 range, and I believe, at least as time of recording in mid to late June, these prices are still accurate. He's still in this $40 to $60 range for his silver prisms, and that completes our journey of $1 to $60 in just 1 year. So, some other sales we could talk about for Balogun. I'm going to start with the bottom left. He had this blue prism numbered out of 340 from the Premier League set in PSA 10 condition. It sold for $65 in November of 2022, and that card is probably now worth over $300 in this current market. The non-numbered ones have sold for $300 plus in PSA 10 condition after his first US goal, so if somebody auctioned this again now, it's likely that it would sell for over $300 at least of time of recording, so that's a pretty nice return for whoever bought that. Then to the right of that, we have the Red Ice Prism in PSA 10 condition, just another parallel of his rookie card from the Prism set. Sold for $100 in February after his huge scoring spree with Reims, and then sold most recently again on auction after he scored his big goal for the United States men's national team. Sold for $330, so a nice triple up there for whoever bought that one. And then finally, probably the most crazy, ridiculous one, his best card, his 1/1 Gold Power Prism rookie card. He has 4, I think, 1/1s from this Prism rookie set, but this is the most valuable because Gold Power has that sort of legacy in the market as being the most valuable. It was in the 2014 Prism set, so there's a lot of history around Gold Powers, and so this, of the 1/1s, is probably his best rookie card. It sold for $500 back in 2022 of July, so the same time as Silver Prisms were $1, somebody decided to take the plunge and bought the Gold Power 1/1 for $500. And I know the guy who had this sold it recently. I don't remember if it was before or after he scored his first goal with the U.S., but it was after he had committed to the U.S. Somebody ended up buying this from the guy that bought it for $500, and I would assume it wasn't posted, and I don't know if they want it to be public, so I didn't ask. I assume they paid high 4 figures for it. Surely it's worth somewhere around there now. I have no idea personally. I would say it's definitely above $5,000, but I don't have any way to know exactly what it sold for, and I don't really think I should pester whoever bought it for what they paid, because in the future they're probably going to look to offload it as well. But yeah, his best card was sold for $500, and now he has many, many cards that sell for $500, so whoever bought that at the time is the winner of the Folarin Balogun game. Alrighty, then we'll talk about what comes next. So, if this market has taught us anything over the past 4 years, it's that prices cannot go up forever. A correction is on the horizon for Balogun's market. It's just a matter of time. So, to think about this, let's look at his upcoming catalyst on his market to try and figure out where his prices might go in the mid-short foreseeable future term. So in terms of positives, we have that it is very likely that he's going to transfer to a European competition level club this summer in a top 5 league. He's not going to go to Arsenal. He's not likely to stay at Arsenal, so he's likely to transfer out. He's not going to go to United. He's not going to go to Liverpool. He's not going to go to City. So he's not going to go to any of the top Premier League clubs. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to go to Real Madrid. He's not going to go to Barcelona. So it's going to be somebody in the next tier that he goes to, but depending on who that ends up being, there could still be some hype on that transfer. Then you also have the Women's World Cup that is coming in this next month. That might bring some secondhand hype around U.S. soccer in general in the short term, especially if they play really well. Maybe there's a sort of secondhand effect that transfers over to the men's team. Then you have the 2024 Copa America that's going to be hosted by the United States, and the United States should be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in that tournament, so there's going to be some hype there, but that's still 12 plus months away at this point. And then the one everybody's looking forward to, the 2026 World Cup, which is going to be, of course, hosted by the United States and is 3 years away. In terms of negatives, the United States men's national team's A team, so the players that Balogun plays with, so Balogun, Reyna, Weah, Pulisic, all those guys, they won't play again until the fall, and they won't play a meaningful match in a real competition until Copa America 2024. So we're a long ways away from him playing meaningful minutes for the United States. Second negative, if he doesn't transfer to the Premier League or a huge fan-base club, he might lose some spotlight, especially if he goes to a club and then doesn't play that much. That would be awful for him. So we just don't know what's going to happen with this transfer situation, so that could end up being actually a negative for him. He could also take a step back in terms of his development. He's really only had this one great season with Brahms in League One. In his previous season with Middlesbrough, he was good, not great or amazing. He scored a decent amount, but he wasn't scoring at the rate he has in this past season. So it's possible his development slows a little bit, but if that were to happen, obviously that would be bad for his market. In terms of his cards specifically, more cards of his will get graded, especially in this near-term future, because anybody that has any Balogun at this point is probably going to be grading it, especially because PSA is only $15 to grade, and if Silver Prisms and PSA 10 are going to be $200 or $300, it makes a lot of sense to start grading his stuff. So expect the population reports of his graded cards to increase dramatically over this next short term, and there's going to be a rebalancing of supply versus demand. As more slabs hit the market, more people are putting up money to buy them. That means there's less money in the pool to buy the next ones that come to market. Simple supply and demand. And then also in terms of negatives, more cards of his in general will get released. So, for example, he's going to have auto cards probably some point in the next 6 to 12 months. He's going to have U.S. men's national team cards at some point in the next 6 to 12 months. He's going to be in a lot more sets. So when that happens, that's going to pull away at his pool of money with new narratives. Like I said before, he's going to have a United States men's national team rookie. He's going to have a Chrome rookie. He's going to have all this other stuff that comes out that is going to pull away from the pool of money that would normally go to his cards. Simple supply and demand sort of stuff that still affects his market. The companies like Panini, Topps, and PSA, they don't care about his card values. They care about printing more product and making more money by people buying their products or grading with them. So they're going to keep as much Balogun as possible, especially Panini and Topps. I would imagine they're already well on their way to trying to shove him into any set that they possibly can. Then we'll move into the final slide here, the JamesCardsFC forecast for Folarin Balogun's market. Not financial advice, of course. I believe that we are at the short/midterm peak of Balogun's market right at this moment, right now, as an end into these next few weeks. His rapid price increases will bring more and more of his cards to PSA and to auction, which is going to put heavy downward pressure on his prices, causing them to fall as more and more hit the market. The question is, where does the additional hype and money come from at this point and going forward? His transfer is already priced in unless it's to a top Premier League club or Real Madrid or Barcelona, which is not going to be. People are already pricing in that he's going to go to a team like Bayern or AC Milan or Juventus or something like that. People are already pricing in that sort of transfer for him, so when it does happen, I don't really see a spike coming to his prices, and there's going to be so many cards that are going to be dumped onto the market. I don't really know how that price spike is going to be able to take place. He's also already being priced in as the star of the United States men's national team, and the team won't play a meaningful match until Copa America in 2024, and by the time that comes, he'll have so many more cards on the market, not just in slabs, cards in general, that the pool of money that's going to be spent on his cards is going to be pulled in a bunch of different directions, whereas right now it's just laser focused on particularly one set and then a couple one-offs. I also don't see an obvious exit point strategy if you're buying his cards right now. If you're buying Balogun at this point in his market cycle, you're betting on him to outplay his expectations, which are now a world-class player for club and country. And if you're planning on holding until 2024/2026, you're betting on the soccer card market to increase in popularity as well, so that the soccer card market can take on the additional cards and slabs that will be on the market for Balogun. So you're betting on two different markets there. Soccer card market increases and Balogun continues to play really well, and that can be really tough, especially over a long-term time horizon, to take both of those things for granted. In my opinion, down at the bottom, now is the time to avoid fear of missing out. Balogun will definitely struggle at some point in the next 12 months. He's going to get injured. He's going to lose a run of form. He might get benched for a few games. This happens to literally like every player in the world that's not named Messi, and especially in the next 36 months, something will happen that is negative for his market, and at that point, there's probably going to be a better buying time then. If you're buying him specifically for 2026, there's likely a better buying window at some point in the next 3 years, rather than jumping in right now when everyone is jumping in at the same time, trying to acquire a very, very limited number of cards on the market, whereas over the next 3 years, if you're trying to buy for 2026, there's going to be so many more opportunities to buy cards as they continue coming to market for Balogun. So, now, I will say I could be completely wrong on this, because I can be completely wrong on anything that I say. It's possible on the board of outcomes that the soccer card market explodes in the next 6 months for some random reason, and everybody's cards go to the moon. And obviously I'm not accounting for something like that, because that would make his cards go up as well. But in the way that I see it, I don't think there's a scenario, at least in the foreseeable future, where his cards continue to increase just because of the fundamental factors that are underlying why his cards went up in the first place and why they're so expensive right now. So, with all that out of the way, I thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment down below, tell me that I'm wrong and that Balogun prices will continue going to the moon for the next 3 years. And I will see you guys in the next video.